All right, so hi everyone, a very good morning to all of you, and welcome back once again to another class of government schemes. In today's class, we are going to cover very important scheme, that is National Urban Livelihood Mission, and the full name of this scheme is Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Urban Livelihood Mission. So before we begin, you need to give me a thumbs up. If you guys can see me properly and can hear me properly, then I'll quickly start the class. And my dear friends, this is very important scheme, and a lot of times a lot of questions have been asked in almost all the exam from this particular scheme. Okay, so it holds immense importance. You need to give me a thumbs up if everything is fine, if you guys can see me properly and can hear me properly. And I hope you guys are enjoying these government schemes classes. And do remember, these classes are important for every exam, whatever examination you are preparing for. ये classes बहुत ज़्यादा important हो जाती हैं. So please give me a thumbs up if everything is fine, if you can see me properly. Yes. Chali, I think I have a lot of thumbs up. So let's start the class without any delay. And first of all, let's talk about the objective. So objective, my dear friends, is very easy to identify. What is the name of the scheme? National Urban Livelihood Mission. Okay. So we can easily derive the objective of the scheme from the name itself. Urban, which means the scheme is for the urban areas, right? And livelihood, which means this scheme is all about providing the livelihood opportunities. And of course, the livelihood opportunities will only be provided to the poor people in urban areas. ठीक है, अब अमीरों को सरकार livelihood opportunities थोड़ी देगी. It must be provided to the poor, right? So it is a livelihood opportunity for the urban poor. In short, this is the objective. But we'll talk about the objective in detail. So the objective is to alleviate poverty and reduce vulnerability. Of course, when the poor are provided with the livelihood opportunities, their poverty shall be alleviated. So the ultimate objective is to alleviate poverty by providing livelihood opportunities. Okay? To alleviate poverty and reduce vulnerability among poor households by offering opportunities for self-employment, skilled wage employment, thereby enabling sustainable and improved livelihood. My dear friends, you do not have to remember the objective word to word. Obviously, that is not required. You just have to understand that, okay, this scheme has this particular objective, and objective याद करने का जो कोई point नहीं है, because obviously they are not going to ask the objective word to word. Obviously they can ask you the objective, but in that case you know आपको बस पता होना चाहिए कि हाँ ये इसका objective है, so you will be able to answer. It was launched, the scheme was launched in the year 2013 by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Now this scheme is based on a number of components. There are a number of components through which the government is providing the livelihood opportunities and skilled wage employment and self-employment opportunities to the urban poor. Let's talk about the components one by one. ठीक है, सबसे पहला है social mobilization and institutional development. Social mobilization means the scheme socially mobilizes the urban poor, and how it can be done by forming self-help groups. ठीक है, you must have heard about self-help groups. And if you remember, we discussed in National Rural Livelihood Mission. ठीक है, National Rural Livelihood Mission में हमने पढ़ा था that the government intends, the government forms SHGs, and through these SHGs the livelihood opportunities are provided to the rural poor in NRLM. Right now, here same is the case with NULM. Here the urban poor are mobilized into self-help groups and their federation. At least one member, and that is preferably a woman, from every urban poor household shall be included in the SHG network. हर घर में से एक एटलीस्ट वन मेंबर, और जो कि प्रेफरेबली एक महिला होगी, from every urban poor household shall be included in the SHG network. Up to ₹10,000 per SHG. अब SHG बनाने के लिए सरकार कुछ बेनिफिट देगी या नहीं देगी? Yes. So the government provides ₹10,000 per SHG for its formation, for providing support for 2 years, for training, bank linkage, federation building and related activities. So basically all round support is provided to these SHGs, and ₹10,000 per SHG is also provided for its formation, right? And not only this, there is a revolving fund of ₹10,000 which is provided to all SHGs with more than 70% urban poor. ठीक है, अब now what is the meaning of revolving fund? कि एक SHG को 10,000 रुपए दे रखे हैं कि आप अपने डेली एक्टिविटीज या फिर जो भी आपके एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव एक्सपेंसेस है उसके लिए यूज करिए, एंड वंस दिस 10,000 रुपीज इज यूज्ड अनदर 10,000 रुपीज विल बी रेडी फॉर यू। ठीक है, सो बेसिकली ये जो फंड है ये रिप्लेनिश होता रहता है, दैट इज कॉल्ड रिवॉल्विंग फंड। Now, under this component only, city livelihood centers are being set up to help the urban poor market their services and access benefits. So, for example, there is an urban poor who is, let's say, a craftsman, a handy craftsman, right? He's a poor, he is not able to market his product, right? So, the government is establishing city livelihood centers under NULM to help that urban poor to market his goods or maybe services in other cases, and to have certain benefits from that. Each CLC, each city livelihood center will gets a grant of rupees 10 lakhs as untied fund released in installment linked to progress milestone. मतलब उस पर्टिकुलर सिटी लाइवलीहुड सेंटर से कितना फायदा मिला उसके हिसाब से जो गवर्नमेंट है वो इनको फंडिंग देती है, राइट? दैट वाज द फर्स्ट कंपोनेंट। द सेकंड कंपोनेंट इज कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग एंड ट्रेनिंग। So, as the name says, capacity building and training, which means some kind of capacity building and training is provided to the beneficiary. So, yeah, under this, the technical assistance is provided to states and UTs for poverty alleviation efforts. पहली चीज तो ये है, not only the beneficiaries, not only the urban poor are provided the technical assistance, but also the states and UTs, so that they can implement the poverty alleviation program effectively in the respective state or UT, right? The training is given to resource persons at the national, state and city level. जो training होगी इन states और UTs में किनको दी जाएगी? resource persons को at national level, at state level and city level. And 7,500 per trainee on an average for capacity building at any level. ठीक है, the cost involved per trainee is rupees 7,500. ठीक है, is rupees 7,500. ठीक है, next is employment through skill training and placement. Now, the government also provides skill training and the government also provides placement to the trained skilled professionals, right? So this aims to upgrade the skills of the urban poor for better self employment और वेज एम्प्लॉयमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटीज। ठीक है, अब मान लो कि कोई भी स्किल नहीं है, एजुकेशन तो चलो खैर मुश्किल ही है, लेकिन अगर कोई स्किल्स नहीं है तो सरकार क्या करेगी? उनको स्किल सिखा देगी, सो दैट दे विल बी मार्केट फिट and they can grab any the wage employment opportunities or self employment opportunities. ठीक है, in this component minimum 30% shall be women beneficiaries, 3% shall be person with disabilities and 15% shall be minority communities, right? And for providing the training and for providing the skill training, the cost per beneficiary involved is rupees 15,000 in general states and UTs, right? While 18,000 for northeastern and special category states. Now, special category states, they haven't defined it, but as far as my experience, it must be UTs without legislatures, because that comes under the central government. UTs without legislature, and Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, which are the hilly state, and certain left-wing extremism affected areas. Okay, or maybe tribal areas, right? So the cost per beneficiary under this component is 15,000, which means 15,000. The government will spend rupees 15,000 per beneficiary to provide the required skill training, right? And this amount goes up to 18,000 in the area of, in the case of northeastern and special states. All right. Let's move ahead to the self-employment program then. The next component, as the name says, self-employment program, which means the government promotes the beneficiaries to do their own business, or maybe to employ themselves, and of course that can only be done through setting up one's own enterprise. And for enterprise, obviously one needs money, right? So the government provides uh, you know interest subsidy. The government provides interest subsidy on loans under this particular component for promoting the self employment, right? So the government provides financial support to urban poor individuals or groups to establish micro enterprises. ठीक है, इंडिविजुअल्स या फिर ग्रुप्स दोनों को मिल सकता है, बट ऑब्वियसली द ग्रुप मस्ट कंसिस्ट ऑफ द अर्बन पुअर्स ओनली। ठीक है, अगेन द मिनिमम women beneficiaries is 30%, 3% PWDs, 15% minority. The project cost limit is 2 lakh rupees for individuals and 10 lakh rupees for groups. For example, if I have to start my own enterprise and I'm an individual, I'm establishing an individual micro enterprises, then my project cost should not exceed rupees 10 lakh rupees, right? And in case of group, it should not exceed rupees 10 lakh. Now, I told you the government provides interest subsidy. So, interest subsidy on bank loans above 7% interest. So, let's say if the rate of interest is 12%, then above 7%, yani ki 5% ka interest subvention the government will provide. Okay? And the most important fact is that there is no collateral required for getting loan under this particular component for the self-employment opportunities. Okay? The next is support for urban street vendors. Now, under this component, Day NULM focuses on skilling, credit enablement, micro enterprise development, and pro vending urban planning. And for this reason, the Swamitva reason, not Swamitva, Swanidhi scheme has been integrated with Day NULM to provide working capital loans to the urban street vendors under this component of Day NULM. See, Day NULM is an umbrella scheme to provide livelihood opportunities to the urban poor, right? Now it can integrate any specific government scheme for forwarding the benefits to the beneficiaries. Like for example, the best example is the urban street vendors, where the Swanidhi scheme has been integrated to provide working capital loans to the urban street vendors. Okay, and up to 5% of the total Day NULM budget is allocated for this component. The next is shelter for urban homeless. Under this scheme, the government provides shelter and essential services to the poorest urban residents, and each shelter is designed to accommodate 50 to 100 people depending on local needs. आपने देखा होगा अपने शहर में रैन बसेरा बना होता है, राइट? नाइट शेल्टर्स, रैन बसेरा बना हुआ होता है, तो दैट इज अंडर द Day NULM. तो जब भी अपने आसपास जाते हो तो देखा करो कि कौन सी स्कीम कहाँ चल रही है, उससे चीजें बहुत अच्छे से याद होती है, राइट? मैं तो ऐसे याद करता हूँ. चलिए, that's all for the scheme, my dear friends. Now let's talk about the expected impact and outcome. So it has obviously created a huge impact by increasing the employment. Over 8 lakh beneficiaries have gained employment, and more than 8 lakh beneficiaries have set up their businesses. It has provided immense support to the street vendors by providing the vending certificates and ID cards to the millions of street vendors, helping them access legal and social benefits, right? Then it has promoted SHG's empowerment. More than 8 lakh SHGs have been formed, empowering women and marginalized group by improving their financial independence. And it provides shelter for urban homeless, which means मतलब सर पे छत देने का काम करता है Day NULM. All right, my dear friends, so that's all for this particular scheme. I hope this is clear. The people who are live with me, please ask your queries in the live chat box. Otherwise, give me a thumbs up. And the people who will be watching the class later, you guys can ask your queries in the comment section. And if you want to have the PDF of this class, my dear friends, just scan this QR code. Just scan this QR code and get the PDF. Okay. Chali. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Otherwise, give me a thumbs up, my dear friends. And I hope you guys are enjoying these classes. And let me tell you once again, these classes are really very important for you. And these classes are conducted every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 AM. All right. ठीक है जी. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Otherwise, give me a thumbs up, my dear friends. Expected dates of RBI grade B, no idea. Niranjan Kulkarni. I can't say because अगर मैंने बोला फिर नहीं आया तो आप मुझे गाली दोगे. मुझे एक्चुअली पता नहीं है. एक्सपेक्टेड अगर आप मेरे से बोलोगे तो द पीपल आर सेइंग that the notification shall be released by the end of July. So if we expect the notification between 15 July and 31st July, the examination will be conducted by the end of August or maybe by 15th of September. नहीं 10,000 per month is not 10,000 per SHG is not monthly. It is like revolving. ठीक है, अब आपको 10,000 रुपये दिए, ठीक है, अब आपने 10,000 रुपये ऑब्वियसली सही जगहों पे खर्च कर दिए, राइट? मान लेते हैं उसको खर्च करने में 15 दिन लगे तो 15 दिन बाद मिल जाएंगे, नहीं तो 6 महीने लगाए तो 6 महीने बाद मिल जाएंगे, बट उसका पूरा हिसाब देना होता है. Sir, there is one request, as we don't get any update on finance classes and others about cancelled, so can we expect? Acha. Yes, Prachi, I will definitely do that. Yeah, I will definitely ask the team to do so. Yes, you have a right to get the updates. You can't just expect it. You have the right to get it. Okay. Which chapter need more attention in ESI static? I have created a video on that. Please go through that. Shruti, yes, of course, there is a limitation. Okay, there is a limitation, but that limitation has not specifically been defined. Unlimited तो obviously नहीं होगा. चलिए, let's wind it up, my dear friends. And Suraj, yes, Suraj, I have created a video on this. Please go through that. The smart way to crack ESI. That is the title of that video. So just go through that. I have specifically covered this part which you are asking. Which chapter need more attention in ESI static? All right. Chaliye guys, let's wind it up. I'll see you in the next class on Friday. Till then, keep studying and keep studying hard. Goodbye. Take care and God bless.